clever, man.
We ready.
All right. Happy Feast of First Fruits. I'm Brother Al. This is my reader, Brother Brian Yahoo.
Yeah.
Coming to you on behalf of the Vineyard of Israel, in the name of the Most High Yah, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right, we thank him for this joyous occasion. Thank him for the gathering. Thank him for the food. Thank him for just being so magnificent. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
We thank him for his debar. We thank him for his truth and his sadiq, which is his righteousness. All right, we give him the glory. With that being said, we're going to introduce this Feast of First Fruits. All right, we got two little quick ways they explain it in the Bible dictionary. This is just to help you get the concept of it, right, so you can know what we're dealing with. All of the feast days are appointed time. So this time has been appointed by the Most High Yah, right? And the way he fulfilled it, this lets let you know it couldn't have been nobody but him, because of the way the week ran when he fulfilled it. It was done to perfection. You hear me? But we're gonna go and see, get the basic understanding of it. Right? Is everybody in here? Feel like we're missing somebody. Huh? They probably got bubble guts. But anyway, this is a Revealed Bible Dictionary under First Fruits. Because I want you to get the concept. We should already know this. Because this is the concept of how you pay your tithes. This is how you deal with the Most High Yah. Because this is how he deals with us. And the law teach you to love thy neighbor as thyself, and to love the Lord thy God with all your heart, mind, and soul. That's what this is about. Right. See, this is going to prove and test whether you can do it or not. There's a lot of stuff hinging on this. All right? So let's go and get the basic concept for first fruits. Tell me what the dictionary say.
The first grain or fruit harvested each year, this produce, in addition to the firstborn of farm animals.
Okay, so listen, the Most High Yah, he gave the children of Israel the land, right? In his own conditions, right? And he telling them, once I give you this land, basically, you need to understand what I'm telling you. I'm freeing you from captivity, and I'm giving you your own land, which is really mine. So when you get in the land and I bless your hand, right, don't hesitate to give me the first portion of your crops that come out of the ground. This is every year. Because in our actuality, you need to know that I'm the one that's causing it to rain so that your crops can, so that you can get water on your crops and so they can sprout up. And when the first ones, the ones that ripe first, this is how feast get his name. The ones that ripe first, those are mine. Okay, so what if you ain't dealing with crops? What if you are a shepherd? Or are you dealing with cattle? We call that the first links. I need the first one too. All right, I need the best one. You got to pass under the rod, which is to pass the inspection. Because the shepherd inspects. That's why Christ, that's why he's the shepherd. And that's why he say, I got sheep, he inspects his sheep. Thy rod and thy staff, they come for me, right? You get it? You hearing the word. We just got to put it to line it up. Make it all fit. Right? So if you a shepherd, I need the firstborn. The one that's without spot, without blemish. Right? Even when he got Israel, what did he say about Israel in the wilderness? This is my firstborn. And then he told you too, while you within Israel, I need the firstborn of your sons. They mine, they holy.
Right.
You understand? They mine. If you want them back, you gotta what? Redeem them. All right. So basically, what he's doing is creating a relationship where we have something tangible to offer him, because you can't see him. You need faith, something tangible to offer him, where you can see, okay, you want covetousness. We trying to weave out covetousness within the nation. You need to understand and lean on me and realize that I'm the one that's providing your needs. I'm the one that's providing your food. I'm the one that's providing everything for you. So how can you come and be stingy and selfish with me when I require your first fruit?
Right.
When I require your firstlings. When I require the firstling of everything that opened the matrix. It's mine. Because you know what I'm going to do? You don't know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give you my firstborn, my best.
Mm.
The reason why you need him, because he without sin, he without spot and without blemish.
Right.
The reason why you need, because this is a perfect sacrifice. Without him, you're going to die. This is why you need him. I don't come and give you any old thing. That's not the type. I'm a God of first. Huh? But anyway, we ain't even got the one scripture yet. Keep going, Brian Yahoo.
In addition to the firstborn of farm animals, was
Look, so in
considered
addition,
sacred.
hold on.
My bad.
Slow it down. Go back up.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
The first grain or fruit harvested each year, this produce, in addition to the firstborn of farm animals, was considered sacred.
It's considered what? Sacred. Who deemed it to be sacred? The Most High Yah.
Yeah.
So that's why I need it. Right? That's why it's called sacred or holy or sanctified or set apart. That's what the tenth is. The tenth is sacred. The tenth is holy. Right? That's why I need it from. And you know what's funny? Man, when it comes to the Most High Yah, how a fist get? How a hand get? Woo! Huh? But when it come to your wants and your needs, how your hand get? Just make it rain. Huh? That's you. But you know, that's always been the problem. The whole Bible is the same ever since the third, fourth page on the Bible. It's the same thing when it come to giving God what's his. And you ain't doing nothing unreasonable. Man, let you keep 90%.
Right.
Huh? You finished that?
No, sir.
I ain't gonna stop you no more. Go ahead.
It was offered to Elohim in thanksgiving and celebration in a special ceremony held on the day of the first fruits. Go ahead.
He telling me to go ahead. Boy, these readers here. So he said it was offered to who? The Most High?
Yeah.
On the what?
On the day of first fruits.
As a what? Celebration.
Celebration or ceremony.
That's what we're here to do. This is a celebration. Right? Because guess what? The fruits, the crops, they come what? Out of the ground. The seeds be dead. When you plant them seeds, they dead. So what happened is they go into the ground, dead seeds go into the ground. That's why you need water on them. So they can regurgitate them things and make them sprout up through the earth. In other words, make them resurrect. So you a seed too. Man got a seed. Every seed out there is own kind. Man got a seed. We call it the seed of copulation. That's men. You dead too. When you go in that ground, ain't you dead? Mm-hmm. Before you go in that ground, you need that water on you. You know what the water is?
Word.
That's it. That word going to help you spring up. That word is going to help you resurrect. But you had no hope unless somebody did it first, unless we got an example.
Right.
And that's what this feast is about. The first of the first fruits. Right? The first of the first fruits was Hamashiach. He was the first one. No matter how many righteous men we had, from Abraham to Isaac to Jacob, King David, and Moses, Aaron, who else you want to name? Job, Daniel, Noah. None of them live forever. When they hit that ground, finito. They was done. It wasn't no resurrecting. So he the first one to do it. The people is crops. The people is seeds. When you go into that ground, now one of them bear grain, meaning to come through the dirt,
Right.
to resurrect, to pop through. Death was reigning. You understand that? Death was reigning. We're going to read that. All right, but first let's go and get this. We need to get in the scripture. Come on, Brian. This is the Zondervan Bible Dictionary on the first fruit. Well, I'm just trying to get the concept so we can see. That way when we start reading scripture, we know what it is. Because the scripture ain't going to take me long, I don't think. Go ahead.
An acknowledgement of the fact that all the products of the land came from Elohim.
So listen what he's telling you. The whole nation, you recognize him. This feast has helped you acknowledge the fact that the increase came from who?
Elohim. Most
You need
High.
to know that.
Yeah.
Right? So you don't get tight when it come to giving it up. Go ahead.
And thankfulness for his goodness.
Thankfulness for his goodness. Go ahead.
Israelites brought as an offering to him a portion of the fruits that ripened first.
You see that? Don't be coming with that sloppy seconds. I need that first ripe fruit. That's how the feast got its name. So we're dealing with crops on this feast, which is metaphorical for men, and we're dealing with men. When it come to men, the most Yahushua, that's the first one. That's the first of the first fruits. Right? Does that make sense? Because if you know somebody that rose before him, just go ahead and tell me. Security. I'm just saying, whoever knows something, you finna get exit up out of here. Okay, we gotta get you out of here. That's strange. All right? So that lets you know he was the first one. Right? You finish?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
These being looked upon as a earnest of coming harvest. Such an offering was made both on behalf of the nation and by individuals. The first fruits went to the support of the priesthood.
That's good. But they didn't have an inheritance. Right? But they had to do all the services of y'all. Let's go to Leviticus 23. I was about to say, you already was there. We finna start somewhere else.
Oh, I thought you said Deuteronomy. Okay. Gotcha.
So all of the feasts really show how the Most High Yah bless them. Because if he don't let it rain on those crops, or he don't let the dew come down from heaven, their crops ain't going to sprout up. They have a cold, dry, dead winter. Everything is dead. When they come to the first of the summer, right, if he don't rain or if he don't let the dew fall, that's how we get a famine. Right? Nobody crops growing. Who crops grow in a famine? Exactly. But you just gotta see the concept. Leviticus 23. And this feast, it always happened during the feast of unleavened bread. Because it's giving you a message. Christ is the Passover. Christ is the unleavened bread without sin. Right? Christ is the first fruit. So the one that without sin was the first one to die and rise from the dead.
Right.
Being the first fruits of them that slept. And that's all it's about. But you need to know that if he didn't do it, ain't no need of doing none of this.
Right.
If he didn't rise from the dead, you might well go do what you want to do. That's how important it is. No hope otherwise. All right? No hope otherwise. This is why. Pick me up at, I know we're Leviticus 23, but I think he had his Bible there first. So I want to switch it up. Let's go to Romans 5, verse 14. He can't. They're trying to predict me over here.
Don't let them get you past.
All right. Somebody had their book open of Leviticus already. I know you ain't gonna be truthful. Raise your hand if you had your book open of Leviticus 23. Exactly. Exactly. My spirit told me. Yeah. Yeah, I knew y'all. I know y'all. Trying to predict me. Okay. Romans 5. Pick me up at verse 12. This is going to be our new famous scripture because we got to understand this. Hearken to the script.
Wherefore, as by one man entered into the world, and death by sin, and so death passed upon all men.
See, this kind of stuff ain't no big deal to us because we born under this. It's stuff already done been put in place long ago. You know, it's just normal, for us to read. But you got to understand how important it is. He like, look, you need to understand. What about one man sin into the world, right? And what came with sin? Death. Uh-huh.
And so death passed upon all men.
Is that the truth? You can see that. It's evidence. Huh? So you can't say the Bible ain't true. Every man gonna die. Go ahead.
For that all have sinned. For until the law, sin was in the world.
Yes, all right. Sin was already into the world even before he gave the law on paper. Go ahead.
But sin is not imputed where there is no law.
Sin is not imputed where there is no law. What happened?
Nevertheless, death reigned from Adam to Moses.
Look at that. What do reign? Who reigned? Kings reign, right? So death was king over all men. Starting at Adam, the first one that let it in. And what do you mean to Moses? Did it stop at Moses when Moses was born? Is that what that means? So we got to understand this. Why he used Moses then? So just like he used Adam as a representative, as the one that brought in death, he used Moses as a representative for the first covenant. None of the righteous men under the first covenant die. Under the first covenant, we using shadows and types. We using fruit that we get out of the ground. For unleavened bread, we using lamb. For Passover, we using four-legged lambs. Right? For unleavened bread, we're using bread that you eat. But this is just a shadow and a type so you can recognize the real one once he come on the scene. This is pointing or teaching you about the one to come that's going to conquer death. All right? Go ahead.
Even over them that had not sinned after the similitude of Adam's transgression.
So it don't make no difference. You still going to die. That's important. Go ahead.
Who is the figure of him that was to come.
Adam is the figure of the one to come. Who are you talking about? The second man, Adam. Who is the second man, Adam?
Mashiach.
Yeshua, right? Mashiach, right? Why is he the second man, Adam? Because just like Adam brought in death, he brought in what? Life. But what's the proof? The proof is when he rose from the dead. And not only did he rise from the dead, he still has to be accepted. And that's what this feast is about, the acceptation of the resurrection, of the sacrifice that he made. Yeah, he beat it, but once he rose up, he still had to be accepted.
Right.
So the Most High still had to accept the offer that he made. That's why when he came, when he rose up out of the grave, he said, oh, don't touch me. I have not yet ascended. See, this is an offering that you get out of the ground and you take it to the priest, and they got to lift it up, which is to wave it or ascend, right? You see how different words mean the same thing? They lift it up and they wave it in the presence of God, right? So when he said, I have not yet ascended, I haven't been accepted yet. But we jumped the gun a little bit, but I just need you to see this. Follow me. Leviticus 23. Somebody had their Bible there already again? They did. Deuteronomy 11. I'm sick of this. No. I'm sick of this. Y'all might well get up here. Now, Leviticus 23. We could do Deuteronomy 11. I ain't finna play with y'all. Who said the word had to be boring? Ain't nobody told me we had to teach it boring.
There you go.
Leviticus 23. Pick me up. We're going to start at the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Matter of fact, just hit me up at verse 1. Go ahead.
And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying,
What did he tell them?
Speak unto the children of Israel,
For what?
and say unto them, concerning the feast of Yahuwah.
That's right. These are his feasts. Feast is what? Appointed times. See, I already appointed time for the death, the burial, the resurrection. And I chose the one that's going to fulfill it. Right? Mm-hmm. And it got to happen. That's why we got to keep it in this season. Right? Go ahead.
Which ye shall proclaim to be a holy convocation.
The holy gathering, a holy assembly, or a holy rehearsal. Go ahead.
Even these are my feasts.
Like what?
6 days shall work be done.
Uh-huh.
But the 7th day is a Sabbath of rest.
Yes.
A holy convocation. You shall do no work therein.
Uh-huh.
It is a Sabbath of Yahuwah in all your dwellings.
We got that. Drop down to verse 6.
And on the 15th day of the same month.
That's the month Abib, the first month of the year. The 14th day is the Passover. The very next day, the 15th, is what?
Is the feast of unleavened bread unto Yahuwah.
That's right.
7 days you must eat unleavened bread.
And we know leaven represents sin, unleavened meaning without sin. Right? This is why Mashiach could fill this role. He's the only one. Right? Go ahead.
7. In the first day you shall have a holy convocation.
Right.
You shall do no servile work therein.
Right. Go ahead.
But you shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yahuwah 7 days.
Yes, sir.
In the 7th day is a holy convocation.
That's right.
You shall do no servile work
So
therein.
you got the first day and the 7th day, right? In between, we have this feast. It's always going to be on the first day of the first Sunday during the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Right? It can't go past that time. Right? Because it's an offering that got to be accepted, a first fruit offering that have to be accepted. Right, go ahead.
9. And
So
Yahuwah spake.
it's representing him, his resurrection, and then him being accepted by the God. Right, so that happened during the feast of unleavened bread. Right, on the first day of the week. Go ahead.
And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying,
It's verse 9, yes.
Speak unto the children of Israel,
For what?
and say unto them, When you be come into the land which I give unto you, and shall reap the harvest thereof, then you shall bring a sheaf of the first fruits of your harvest unto the priest.
Okay, so you see what he's saying? You come into the land, you're going to reap the harvest. You reap what you sow. You reap the harvest, right? This is what I need you to do. You shall bring a sheaf. That's a bundle, right? Like a bundle or a ribbon. And you tie it around the first ripe fruit of the land, of the harvest, right? You getting ready to get the harvest, but the very first ripe one, you get it, tie a bundle around it, and bring it to the priest. Got to have the priest for this here. All right, you can't do nothing. You can't make no offering to the Most High without the priest. This is important. You even need the priest under the new covenant. Go ahead.
11. And he shall wave the sheaf before Yahuwah.
See, he going to wave it before Yahuwah, before meaning in his presence, right? Because the priest is the one that's responsible for the services of Yah. So he going to get the sheaf that you brought from your harvest, right? And he going to wave it to be accepted for you. But he can't do it at any time. He can't do it when he feel like it. Go ahead.
On the morrow after the Sabbath, the priest shall wave it.
So this is the morrow after the Sabbath, which is what? Sunday, the first day of the week, during the feast of unleavened bread. Right? It's during the, you can't forget that. It's during the feast of unleavened bread, and you bring it, because this is where, also we're going to start our count for the next batch of the first fruits. See, this feast, this first fruit was baked without leaven. When you get to the next first fruits, or we call a Feast of Weeks of Pentecost, you offer those with leaven. They represent man. Because all men have sinned, like we read in Romans 5, and come short. But you've been washed, you've been redeemed, you've been purchased by his blood. Now he be the first one to rise, and if it be true, that's what the second first fruits represent. Us being able to follow suit. Right? So death no longer reigns. So even though people still dying, because that's what people think when they read death no longer reign, they thinking nobody's going to die anymore. No, it means even though you die, you have a chance to rise now, a chance at eternal life, which you didn't have before that. Right. You didn't have that before this sacrifice. Once Adam took it off the table, it was a wrap. So now he put it back on the table. The first one, and he showed this is the proof. And he wants you to be able to recognize his work by crops. You carnal, something you deal with carnally. Right? So you recognize how the crop game go. That's terrible. I know it, yeah, but y'all understand it, right? So you recognize how that go. And then when it come to dealing with people, the people are crops too. Well, Yeshua being the first of the first fruits. Right? Come on.
12.
Brian Yahoo. Yes.
And you shall offer that day when you wave the sheaf and a he lamb without blemish of the first year for a burnt offering unto Yahuwah.
That's right. So the lamb represent him, right? And the wave offering, the first fruits. So you give it to the priest, he wave it, and he offering it with the lamb without blemish. Go ahead.
And the meat offering thereof shall be 2 deals of fine flour mingled with oil.
Now, it say meat. It ain't talking about meat how we think beef and chicken, right? Beef is meat like corn or grain, like cereal, right? Go ahead.
An offering made by fire unto Yahuwah for a sweet savior.
Sweet savior, yes, sir.
And the drink offering, therefore, shall be of wine. The fourth part.
So these offerings is like a meal. You got the meat offering, which is the bread. Make sure it's unleavened. You got the wine, right, which represent the blood. And you got the lamb. All three of them. 3 in 1. Ain't no Trinity, but 3 in 1. Right? Go ahead.
The fourth part of an hen.
Yes.
And you shall eat neither bread nor parched corn.
Now, from the time you get your harvest up, right? If you get your harvest up on that Monday, he said you shall eat neither bread nor corn. Go ahead. Yes.
Nor green ears, until the selfsame day that you have brought an offering unto Elohim.
Right. So until the self-same day until you have brought an offering. So when you get ready to reap your harvest for the year, you take the first fruits and you offer it to the Most High Yah. Give it to the priest, let him offer it so he can wave it. And you can't eat of that harvest because none of it's been accepted. Right? So if your stuff spring up on Tuesday, you can't eat of that new harvest until it's been accepted, which is on that first day of the week after that Sabbath. You understand that? Mm-hmm. So how we going to eat? This is why it's a blessing. Huh? Let me show you how you going to eat. You finished that verse?
No, sir.
Okay, go on.
It shall be a statute forever throughout all your generations and all your dwellings.
Go ahead, get 15.
And you shall count unto you from the morrow after the Sabbath, from the day that you brought the sheaf of the wave offering.
Right, which is that first day of the week. So this is important because this is where you start your count for the Pentecost. See, we skip this feast a lot of times. That's why people counts be off when it come down to Pentecost. All right? Why they be all over the place? You got to have the first one first. And once you got the first one, now you can establish the count. Mm-hmm. And you can get 50 days later, it's going to bring you right back to the first day of the week. You understand? Right? But the only thing is, those are going to be baked with leaven. Because that's man. This one is unleavened. That's why I got to happen during the time of unleavened bread. That's right. And it's the first of the first, right? I'm going to keep saying that. So how we going to eat, right? That's where we at with it, right? How we going to eat? That's why he said it's a blessing. And as long as you obedient, he bless your hand. He bless the work of your hands.
Right.
It's when you become disobedient that the curses fall on you. One of the curses being a famine or whatever the case may be. This is why he instruct you how to deal with the land before you even go in it. Because you're going to misuse it. You're going to abuse it. You're going to get tight, right? Deuteronomy 11. We're going to see how it is to be, pick me up at verse 11. Because it makes sense. It don't make sense. We can't eat of the first fruit we can't eat of none of the harvest until after it's been accepted. And everybody harvest don't rise up at the same time. The first fruit don't ripen of the harvest at the same time. Right. Some people go closer to the day, some further away. But you can't eat of until he tell you to, until it's been accepted. Verse 11, go ahead, bless me.
But the land, whether you go to possess it, is a land of hills and valleys, and drinketh water of rain of heaven.
See, how do the land get the water?
Heaven.
Come from heaven, right? Go ahead and read.
A land which Yahuwah thy Elohim careth for.
Look at that. He the gardener. So that, you know what this means? They haven't seen the land at this point. They in the wilderness, and he explaining it to them. So he giving them, they didn't have TV. I'm giving you a vivid picture. All right? The land is a land. That's why you see that kind of talk. From milk and honey, valleys and hills, right? You understand? We got TV today. It take away your imagination.
Right.
Well, the prophets, how they wrote, it's poetic. But go ahead.
The eyes of Yahuwah thy Elohim are always upon it.
When? How long?
From the beginning of the year, even unto the end of the year.
So the beginning of the year is the time when we had his feast. Is that the truth? He said it's on it from the beginning to the end. Go ahead and read.
13.
Yes, sir.
And it shall come to pass.
What?
If you shall hearken diligently unto my commandments.
You can do what you want to do.
Hearken diligently unto my commandments.
If you listen, if you're obedient, what happened?
Which I command you this day, to love your Elohim and serve him with all your heart and with all your soul.
Yes.
That I will give you the rain of your land in due season.
You're going to give me the rain of the land. When?
In due season.
At the appointed time. That's what these feast days are. Appointed time. So this is how your crops grow. That's why they all centered around agriculture. You got to depend on him to send that rain. So just like they had to depend on him to send that, to rain down that bread from heaven in the wilderness 40 years, when you go into the land, your dependency on Yah don't stop.
Right.
Yeah, it's a land that's blessed, but you need to know that I'm still the one that's causing it. Now, if you don't, there will be a famine in the land. You understand this? See, the feast days are joyous occasion. Everybody's being obedient. He blessing everybody's hand. Oh, man, we got plenty increase at the feast, right? Go ahead.
The first rain and the latter rain.
See, the first rain and the latter rain, right? So you have different times of crops, of harvesting and reaping. The first and the latter rain, yes.
That thou mayest gather in thy corn.
And I'm giving you the rain for what reason? You just read it.
To gather in thy corn.
To gather in your corn.
And thy wine.
And thy wine. Ain't this what you need for the feast? Your bread. Your wine. Right? Because you're going to offer your first of it up to Yah. Go ahead.
And thy oil.
And your oil, yes.
And I will send grass in the fields for thy cattle.
You see that? Because you're going to offer them too. The firstlings of the cattle, I need them. And you got to inspect it, right? So they got to eat. They got to be healthy and nourished. So I'm going to send the rain so the grass can sprout up for the animals too. Because they mine too, the first ones, right? Go ahead.
That thou mayest eat and be full.
That you may, so he doing this all for you. Only thing you have to do is believe and trust and rely on him and not become covetous. Right? Which is always the problem.
Right.
Covetousness is the number one enemy. So I'm giving you this rain in due season so that it can bring forth your crops. Right? It's an old principle. But you need to obey in order for it to take place. Back up to Leviticus 26. We know what we're doing, but it's better when you know what you're doing. 24. Hold on, let me come down. Let me start at verse 2 first. Hearken to the script.
You shall keep my Sabbaths.
For what?
And reverence my sanctuary.
That's plural, right? Sabbaths. That's why his feast days are called high Sabbaths. And reverence, my respect, honor, right? My sanctuary. What else you want me to do?
I am Yahuwah.
That's right.
If you walk in my statutes and keep my commandments and do them.
If you walk in my statutes and keep my commandments and do them, what'll happen?
Then I will give you rain in due season.
You see that? Then I'll give you rain in due season. Yes, sir.
And the land shall yield her increase.
What's going to happen?
And the trees of the field shall yield their fruit.
That's right. They're going to yield their increase. And once they yield their increase, you bring me the firstlings. And we can keep this cycle going, blessed by the best. Continuously. We could do it. Go ahead.
And your threshing shall reach unto the vintage.
Yes.
And the vintage shall reach unto the sow in time.
You see that? So what he's telling you is, it ain't going to be no off season. Ain't going to be no drought. Right? You ain't going to have to worry about it. Your store is going to be blessed continuously.
Right.
Because I'm the one doing it. I'm the one responsible. Go ahead.
You shall eat your bread to the full.
You see that? Come on.
And dwell in your land safely.
That's a blessing, right? But if you don't, just drop down to, I need to keep going.
6. And I will give peace in the land, and you shall lie down, and none shall make you afraid. And I will rid evil beasts out of the land.
All of this is part of me blessing you. Drop down to verse 10. Because remember, how we going to eat? We got to wait all them days. Right? He finna tell you right here how you going to eat until your offering be accepted. Go ahead.
And you shall eat old store.
You shall eat old store. Why?
And bring forth the old because of the new.
You see that? Because remember, you got to think. He blessed. We keep him command. He blessed. We're not running out. So we still got some from last year that we can eat off of until the new be accepted. You shall eat the old because of the new. That's a blessing. Huh?
Yes, sir.
We got that. So that's how you gonna eat. Even though you gotta you can't eat of the harvest until it be accepted for the year to come. But you got some from last year. So you're gonna eat that old because of this new. Right? Now once this new be accepted, you can eat of that too. But I don't want, you can't eat of that new a day before.
Right.
So what we gonna do? Eat the old because of the new. Because I'm the one that bless you. I'm the one that make it rain in due season. I'm the one that make you prosper. But go ahead and start disrespecting and neglecting the law. Watch what's gonna happen to you.
Right.
It's gonna be a famine. It's gonna be a drought. It's gonna be dirt. Right? Because this is what he got to do. Drop down to verse 24. Because all of this is covenantal blessing, right? This is the agreement we made. He gonna keep his end. All you got to do is trust him and keep yours.
Right.
It's hard for you to trust somebody, right, you don't believe in. Verse 24, go ahead.
Then will I also walk contrary unto you.
Right, I'm in 23, but that's all right. He said, if you walk contrary unto me, then I will also walk contrary unto you. What you mean?
And will punish you yet 7 times for your sins.
Mm.
And I will bring a sword upon you that shall avenge the quarrel of my covenant.
Yes, sir.
And when you are gathered together within your cities,
Uh-huh.
I will send a pestilence among you.
You see that? This is for disrespecting. Go ahead.
And you shall be delivered into the hand of the enemy.
That's right. What else?
And when I has broken the staff of your bread,
Look at that.
10 women shall bake your bread in one oven.
So instead of having all that surplus, it's tight. It's a famine. It's scarcity. Because you didn't trust in me. You walk contrary, so now I'm going to walk contrary unto you. So you can see how you have to rely on the Most High.
Absolutely.
That's why you can't get caught up in physicality. You can't get caught up in this materialistic stuff. Because that's how they make their little money too. They just have the little bartering system, whatever the case may be. So it would be easy to become covetous. But I need that first fruit. Because it's holy. You understand? Go back to Exodus 23. You there?
Yes, sir.
Let me get verse 29. So we call it first fruits. This is the same principle as the tithes. I need your first and I need your best. It's holy, it's the tenth, right? Go ahead.
I will not drive them out from before thee in 1 year.
No, Exodus, where you at? 22, sorry.
Oh.
22. I said 23, didn't I?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, my bad. Exodus 22, verse 29. Go ahead and read.
Thou shalt not delay to offer the first of thy ripe fruits.
See, I'm trying to train you, Israel. I'm trying to train you to be like me. Don't delay to offer what?
The first of thy ripe
The
fruits.
first of thy ripe fruits. Because you know what he already know? If you delay, if you hesitant, if you procrastinate, most of the time you ain't going to do it. And if you do, you really already messed it up because it's really kind of not acceptable to me at that point because you didn't give it with joy.
Right.
You gave it grudgingly, like I didn't bless you to be able to partake of the harvest anyway. Like I didn't bless your sheep game. Huh? That's how you act. That's how we act toward them, right? That's how they act. Go ahead.
And of thy liquors.
Hold on for a minute. What?
And of thy liquors.
He said, don't hesitate to offer the first of thy ripe fruits and of thy liquors. So it's in the Bible. What else? Is that it? Go ahead.
The firstborn of the sons shalt thou give unto me.
Oh, man. It's tight, ain't it? It's tight, ain't it? But you know what? He don't ask you to do nothing that he won't do.
Right.
And he didn't ask Israel to do nothing that he wouldn't do. Only reason I need you to do this for me, because I need to see if you love me like I love you. That's what he did. What verse?
30.
Oh, that's good. Let me skate up out of there real quick. Hold on. Go to the 23rd chapter. Pick me up at verse 18. It's just showing this point to Mashiach. Verse 18, go ahead.
Thou shalt not offer the blood of my sacrifice with leavened bread.
Mm-hmm.
Neither shall the fat of my sacrifice remain until the morning.
What you mean?
The first of the first fruits of thy land thou shalt bring into the house of Yahuwah thy Elohim.
That's right, so we can offer them on your behalf. So even when we get down to my sacrifice, the Passover, don't offer it with leaven. Right? And then on top of that, he said, none of it shall remain until the morning. The first of the first fruits of thy land, bring them here. So the priest can wave them so it can be accepted on your behalf. Right? Got to be accepted. Right, let's skate up out of that. Let me cut down on some of these. Let me go to Numbers real quick. Numbers 18. I said I was going to make it short, right? Y'all knew what it was. Security.
Who I need to get?
The hell table right there. Numbers 18, verse 24. We're going to skate through these. Numbers 18, verse 24, then we're going to back up to Leviticus 27. Verse 24. Go ahead, Brian.
But the tithes of the children of Israel, which they offer as a heave offering unto Yahuwah, I have given to the Levites to inherit.
That's right, because Levites didn't have a portion, but he said the heave offering, right? The tithes of the heave offering mean you heave it up so it can be waved, right? Go ahead.
Therefore I have said unto them.
So you got to bring it to the priest. Once again, we establishing that fact that the priest has to be the one to offer it up on your behalf. Right, go ahead.
Among the children of Israel they shall have no inheritance. And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying,
What?
Thus speak unto the Levites.
Tell the Levites this. These the priests, right? What you want me to tell them?
And say unto them,
Yes.
When you take the children of Israel, the tithes which I have given you.
Right, so when you take the tenth or the tithe, which is holy from the children of Israel, what you need to do? I'm ready.
From them for your inheritance. Then you shall offer up a heave offering for the Yahuwah, even a tenth part of the tithe.
You see that? Tenth tithe, one and the same. Even the priest had to offer it up. But what it's showing you is, okay, they brought the children of Israel, they brought the first ripe fruit or the first part, right? So we getting the first portion of that. That's what the priest is doing. Of the first holy, the first ripe, we getting another first of the first fruits. And he waving it up. You see that? So they ain't getting by either. They got to offer too. But this is what the priest's job is. So this is what Yeshua being the high priest, that's why he had to be the first of the first fruits.
Come on.
Right? This law. You can't transgress. Right? Go ahead.
27. And this your heave offering shall be reckoned unto you.
That's what?
As though it were the corn of the threshing floor.
That's right.
And as the fullness of the winepress.
So that's how we're going to count it to you. Just like it was of the winepress and of the threshing floor. Go ahead. What verse you at?
28.
Okay. Yep.
Thus she also shall offer an heave offering unto Yahuwah.
So what do heave offering mean? Don't be lost by the words. Do it again, Brother Bernard. Offering it up, waving it up. All right? You think heave, you think raise up, you think wave, you think to ascend. Because to remember, it's to be accepted. Right? You doing it in the presence, or like the Bible said, before God, in his presence. So you offering it up to him like, you know he in heaven, right? You down on earth. You offering it up, right? Not the app, right? You offering your best up to the Yah. Go ahead. 28?
Yeah.
You finished?
No, sir, I'm going to start
Okay,
over.
go ahead.
Thus she also shall offer a heave offering unto Yahuwah of all your tithes.
You see that? Of all what?
Your tithes.
Uh-huh.
Which you receive of the children of Israel. And you shall give thereof Yahuwah's heave offering to Aaron the priest.
What position, what kind of priest is Aaron? The high priest. Right, go ahead.
Out of all your gifts you shall offer every heave offering unto Yahuwah.
What you mean?
Of all the best thereof.
You see that? Don't offer me anything. I've been taught you this. of all the best. They're the creme de la creme. I need the best of the best. Huh?
Say it.
I taught you this before you was a nation. He didn't? He taught you this already. Go ahead.
Even the hollowed part thereof out of it.
Even the hollow part out of it. What, verse 29?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's go. Let's see. Because he did teach us this. We can keep going in that chapter, but we good. Go to Genesis 4. He taught us this principle already. Then we go to Leviticus 27. Because I missed it. Genesis 4:1, go ahead.
And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from Yahuwah.
Yes.
And she again bare his brother Abel. And Abel was a keeper of sheep,
Uh-huh.
but Cain was a tiller of the ground.
Right. People try to use the difference in their occupation to say that's why they got blessed or cursed or not. They ain't got nothing to do with it. Because the man told you, I want the first fruit of your ground. And if that's not your avenue, or you a shepherd, you deal with cattle, give me the first of that too. All right, so we're going to read it. Go ahead.
And in process of time it came to pass
What you mean?
that Cain brought of the first of the fruit of the ground an offering unto Yahuwah.
That's right. So, well, process of time, they've been taught something about God. Because you don't just give an offering and you don't know nothing about nothing.
Right.
All right, so the process of time came. What happened?
And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock. and
Okay,
of the
so I
fatling.
missed it. Go ahead. Cain brought an offering of the first of the fruits of his ground, an offering unto the Lord. It didn't say the first or his best.
Right.
Right? Did it? He just brought an offering.
Yep.
But Abel, his brother, did what?
Brought of the firstlings of his flock.
You see that? That's the best. That's the first. What is that? Is that pleasing to him? Go ahead.
And of the fat thereof.
And of the fat thereof, yes.
And Yahuwah had respect unto Abel and to his offering.
That's good. I can accept that. That garbage what you brought, Cain, you can go home and take that back. Now, question though. Why would a man hold back from God? They got the world at their disposal now. Why would he not offer him the first of the firstlings or the first fruits? Greed, covetousness. That's why he warned you against covetousness. Because you love that increase, you love that crop, you love that more than you love me. You saying you love me, but through your actions, I'm seeing who you love.
Right.
You love them grapes. Huh? You love that increase in that gain more than me. Because it didn't say he didn't offer God nothing. So he's still acting as if he's serving God. Only thing is, in his service, he didn't give his best, so he got rejected, not accepted. You can keep that, homeboy. I've been taught y'all this. I told you what I like.
Right.
Only thing is, which one of you? Cain or Abel? I'm just saying. You can't come to the Most High and act like he common, like he ain't blessing your hand. If you poor, you still been blessed because it's somebody poor with less. I just had to make it rhyme. I just had to make it rhyme, y'all. Anyway, let's keep going.
5.
Yes.
But unto Cain and of his offering
Yes.
he had not respect.
He didn't. I can't respect that. Go ahead.
And Cain was very wroth.
This is you. The Most High reject you. And you know, I know we don't know how to recognize it. But a lot of times a man say, you're doing a whole lot of work, but you getting very little gain. I blew on it. Everything you transgressed to get, I blew on it. So you got it, you attained it, but you couldn't keep it or enjoy it. Whew. And you know what you do? You keep going. And now the only thing about that is you mad when you see somebody else increasing. But they might be doing it accordingly. But they might be able versus you can't. Food for thought. You feel? Come, keep rolling, bro.
And Cain was very wroth,
Right, y'all.
and his countenance fell.
Yes. Well, his countenance fell because his own works were evil. Ain't that what the Bible tells us later on? His own works was evil. Go ahead.
And Yah said unto Cain, Why art thou wroth, and why is thy countenance fallen?
Yes.
If thou doest well,
Uh-huh.
shalt thou not be accepted?
Insinuating what? You didn't do well in this case. You sucked. You know what I'm saying? But you got a chance to get it right. I'm just saying. If you do well, it ain't like I like Abel more than you.
Right.
I don't respect y'all persons like that. But I respect the work of his hands, his offering, his heart, how it is toward me over yours. He's saying he served me, and he's showing it. You just saying it. You giving me minimum. I'm just saying. Because you know why it's important? Because he didn't do that. He can't condemn Abel, and then he come give you whatever. Because whatever ain't going to get the job done.
That's
You
right.
got to be unleavened, baby. That's why it's doing the unleavened bread. Go ahead. Okay, I see. Come on.
And if thou doest not well,
What happened?
sin lieth at the door.
What is it?
Sin.
Let's go on and turn to Leviticus 27. You can get the rest of it on your own. They never do this at the movies. You hear me?
Right.
4 hours and 4 days long. Like, they ain't took a break to use the bathroom. Nothing. Hey, I ain't popcorn been out. They ain't asked, can you pause it? Leviticus 27, we're going to do verses 30 and then drop down to 32. Then we're going to skate out of here. So first fruits, your tithes, is all pretty much the same. I need that. You ain't got to give it to me, but you showing me you don't love me. Verse 30, go ahead and read.
And all the tithe of the land, whether of the seed of the land or the fruit of the tree, is Yahuwah's.
Guess who?
Yahuwah's.
I know you thought it was yours.
Better say that.
Because you know what? He said it's his, right? So when you get to Malachi, you know what he said? Y'all done robbed me. The whole nation done robbed me. How you robbed me? In tithes and offering. And would a man rob God? The people like, how he robbed you? He telling you right here, tithes and offering. You did me like Cain. Go ahead.
It is holy unto Yahuwah.
You see that? You stole from something that's holy. And you know what? All that's come before me is what? Thieves and robbers. You leavened. That's why I have to be the first of the first fruits. I'm unleavened. I'm the best of the best. But I've been trying to train you all this time. Go ahead.
You want 31?
All right, just give me 32.
And concerning the tithe of the herd,
The tithes of what?
the herd, or of the flock,
Uh-huh.
even of whatsoever passeth under the rod, the tenth shall be holy unto Yahuwah.
You see that? It's his. Stop trying to cheat and beat, right, and scheme. It's his. It's all his. So all of this is pointing to Christ. All this is pointing to Yeshua. Let's let the Bible tell us he was the first fruit. 1 Corinthians 15. First Corinthians 15. Pick me up at verse 1. You already see. I saw your pen. I saw where it was.
Oh, I skipped down, right?
Yeah, that's why I didn't start there.
Oh, okay.
Verse 1. Go ahead.
Moreover, brethren, I declare unto you the gospel which I preached unto you,
I'm making this gospel known unto you. What you talking about, Paul?
which also you have received, and wherein you stand,
Yes, sir.
by which also you are saved, if you keep in memory what I preach unto you,
Yeah, if you keep in memory what I preached unto you, if you follow it, go ahead.
unless you have believed in vain.
Uh-huh.
For I delivered unto you first of all that which I also received,
What you talking about?
how that Mashiach died for our sins,
Amen. How?
according to the scriptures.
Any way he wanted to.
According to the scriptures.
That's amen. According to the scripts. Scripts got to bear witness. Right? Go ahead.
And that he was buried,
And
that he rose again the third day, according to the scriptures.
first fruits. The resurrection is more important. Or that's the part that we don't think much about. But see, that's how you saved. We're going to read Romans 5 and 10. It's going to tell you. You saved by his life. What you mean? The fact that he rose up.
Right.
The fact that he didn't stay dead. Now we got hope. Right? That's what he tells you. Drop down a bit. Verse 12. Go ahead.
Now, if Mashiach be preached that he rose from the dead, how say some among you that there is no resurrection of the dead?
That's the truth. We've been preaching about him dying and rising according to the scriptures. How some of y'all going to say there is no resurrection? Scriptures tell us this.
Right.
Go ahead.
But if there be no resurrection of the dead, then Mashiach is not risen.
You see that? Because we already know everybody that came and died before him never rose.
Right.
Right? There wasn't no he said, and if it be no resurrection from the dead, then he didn't even do it. Mashiach, Christ didn't even rise. So if that's the case, let's turn the music on and get started. I'm saying, bring out the bottle. It's time. Ain't no hope. Huh?
Yep.
Ain't no, go ahead.
14. And if Mashiach be not risen, then is our preach in vain?
That's the truth. I need to sit down right now. Huh? If ain't no, listen, this is my last day opening the Bible, if this the case. I'm just saying. The point is, that's a little extreme, yeah, but the point is, it's no purpose. Right? Go ahead.
And your faith is also vain.
I don't know what you believe in it for. All this hinge on the resurrection. Because the man definitely died. You imagine you there. He in the ground one day, no hope for us. He in the ground day 2, there's no hope. Day 3, he's still in the ground. If he don't rise up, ain't no hope. Death gonna keep on reigning. Because if ain't nobody else can do it now. Ain't nobody else can do it.
Right.
If he don't get up, so we should have been like cheerleaders. Get up, please. You know what I'm saying? Begging and pleading. All right, but go ahead.
15.
Yes.
Yea, and we are found false witnesses of Elohim.
That's right. I'm just lying up here. If he ain't rise, then I'll be up here lying. All right, go ahead.
Because we have testified of Elohim that he raised up Mashiach,
Yes.
whom he raised not up, if so be that the dead rise not.
That's right. If you heard it, go ahead.
For if the dead rise not, then is not Mashiach raised?
That's right. If the dead don't rise, that means he didn't rise. Go ahead.
And if Mashiach be not raised,
Uh-huh.
your faith is vain. You are yet in your sins.
That's right. Ain't no point of first fruits, tithes, none of that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You just forget it. Go ahead.
Then they also which are fallen asleep in Mashiach are perished.
You see that? Everybody, that's everybody from Adam to Moses. Remember what he told you? Death reigned from Adam to Moses. So now some people die believing in the Mashiach. But it don't make no difference if he didn't get up. That's what he's saying. Go ahead.
19.
Yes.
If in this life only we have hope in Mashiach, we are of all men most miserable.
That's the truth. Now, if we just got faith in him in this life, it is miserable. You love pork. Huh? You will go to your grave eating that stuff if he told you couldn't. Only reason you refrain because he told you believe that he said you can't eat it. Right?
Right.
But if he didn't rise up, ain't none of this, it don't make no difference. You suffering for no reward. It's all vain. You might as well do what you want to do. That's how crucial it is. If you just believe in him in this earthly life, in this fleshly life, you going through you bearing your cross. All this suffering and stuff you enduring for the name of a Mashiach. It's pointless once you die. You missed out on all that sin. Some of y'all. Forgive me, but let's keep going. But that's the point, right? Go ahead.
20.
Yes.
But now is Mashiach risen from the dead.
That's our hope, baby. That's the hope of Israel. Huh? Now he rose from the grave.
And became the first fruits of them that slept.
That's Bible. So the real first fruits is the real fruit is the people. Didn't the man tell you that he was the father is the husbandman? That's a gardener. Right? He was the choicest vine. Mm-hmm. Now he said he is the first fruits. What?
That slept.
Mm-hmm.
21. For since by man came death.
You see that? Yes, the truth. What happened?
By man came also the resurrection of the dead.
That's right. Now nobody could do it. Nobody could be first to rise before him.
That's right.
That would make him, he wouldn't be the first fruits then. Only way he could be the first fruits is if he died and rose from the ground. He didn't have to be the first one to die, but he had to be the first one to die and resurrect. So now that he resurrected, now that gives us hope of a resurrection.
Hallelujah.
Because you definitely gonna die. That's the truth. We got time. All our days are numbered. At the end of your days, if he didn't do this, it would be no point. You don't even worry about getting up. It ain't gonna happen. But the simple fact that he did, that give us hope. Right? Go ahead.
For as in Adam all die.
See, as in Adam all die.
Even so in Mashiach shall all be made alive.
Even so in Mashiach shall all be made what?
Alive.
Now life can reign from a Mashiach on. From the second man Adam, which is a Mashiach, on down. No, death no longer reigns. Even though people still dying, death don't reign anymore. Because you got hope of a resurrection.
That's right.
You got hope to be raised. So the people is the real fruit. That's why, remember he told you the harvest of the earth is ripe? Right? Back up to Romans 5 real quick. Romans 5. And I'm trying to let y'all go, but I got to at least get my ones in. Romans 5. Verse 8 through 10. Go ahead.
But y'all commanded his love toward us.
Mm-hmm.
And that while we were yet sinners,
Mm-hmm.
Mashiach died for us.
Yes.
Much more then, being now justified by his blood, we shall be saved from wrath through him.
That's right. But justified, being cleared of our guilt, cleared of our sin. He freed you from your debt. Jubilee. Right? How did he do that? How many millions he give the Most High? None. He gave him his blood. Mm-hmm. Right? That's what it costs. Go ahead.
For if, when we were enemies, we were reconciled to y'all by the death of his son.
We was enemies at one point. But he reconciled us. He bought us back. He redeemed us to himself by using his son. Go ahead.
Much more, being reconciled, we shall be saved by his life.
You see that? We saved by his life. For the simple fact that he rose up, we saved by his life. That's why he always making a big deal about you not letting my soul see corruption. You're not leaving my body in the grave. I don't know if you paid attention, but he keep on making a big deal out of that. Mm-hmm. Right? Because he had to put his trust in the Father too. Because he died. I don't think we understand that he was a man. Just like you a man. When you die, it's a wrap. He had to put his faith in that the Most High was going to raise him up. And that he couldn't raise him up at any time. It had to be on the third day, according to the scriptures.
Right.
Right? So let's go a little bit further. Then we're going to back up real quick and see if we can find the third. Colossians 1. Read a couple one-liners. Colossians 1. Pick me up at verse 12. Go ahead.
Giving thanks unto the Father, which hath made us meet to be partakers of the inheritance of the saints in light, who have delivered us from the power of darkness,
Yes.
and have translated us into the kingdom of his dear Son,
That's amen.
in whom we have redemption through his blood,
And
even the forgiveness of sins.
that's the truth. Who is he?
Who is the image of the invisible Elohim,
Yes.
the firstborn of every creature.
You see that? Do that mean he was the first man to be born? No, that was Adam. What do he mean, the firstborn of every creature?
For by him were all things created,
Uh-huh.
that are in heaven and that are in earth,
Yes.
visible and invisible,
Uh-huh.
whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created by him and for him.
Yes.
And he is before all things, and by him all things consist.
Yes.
And he is the head of the body.
That you get that concept? He the first one. So he the first of the harvest. So he in the ground with all of the rest of the harvest, but he's the first right one, so take him up. So now let's apply that to him being a body, right? He's actually the head of the body, right? So just like the harvest is the rest of the saints, that body is the rest of the saints too. So just like that head raised up, you raise up them harvest, the body got a chance too now, right? Go ahead. So basically I'm telling you the same story in so many different ways.
Right.
That's how Hebrews do. They skillful with it. Ain't have TV. Huh? We ain't have CDs and DVDs and BET and MTV and all VH1, all nothing. We ain't have all them dumbed down devices. We had a vivid imagination and a skillful hand, right? And the spirit of the Most High to help us articulate this on paper.
Right.
So when you read it, you can get a vision. Where are we at?
By him to reconcile all things unto himself.
Yes.
By him, I say, whether they be things in earth or in heaven.
You done with that verse?
Yes, sir.
Hit me up at Hebrews 1. Verse 1. Go ahead.
Yah, who at sundry times and in diverse manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets.
Okay, now understand this. This is apostle writing, right? He telling Israel who he talked. He said, understand this, in different times and in different ways, the Most High Yah spoke to our fathers by the prophets. But in our time, in these last days, in our time, what happened?
Spoken to us by his Son,
What did he do that for?
whom he have appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds.
Right, he the heir. The heir of the kingdom. Right, drop down to verse 6.
And again, when he bringeth in the first begotten into the world, he saith, and let all the angels of Yah worship him.
So you see what he did? The Most High Yah gave us his firstborn. He gave us his best. He offered it to us. To do what? To redeem you. To show you how much he loves us. So that's what you do. That's why I tell you, if you love me, keep my commandments. That's how you show me. I showed you how much I love you when I sent you my son.
That's right.
Right? We in agreement, right?
That's right.
It's like scratch my back, I scratch yours, that type thing. That's how we should look at this guy. He didn't only say he loved us, but he proved it.
Right.
Remember when he brought Mashiach out of the water, he said, this is my beloved son in whom I'm well pleased.
Right.
Right? And then what did he do? He offered him up. That's what he was doing with Abraham and Isaac. Bring your beloved son and offer him up. It's a shadow. Right? Revelations 1, verse 5. You there?
Yes, sir.
Give me verse 5. Go ahead.
And from Yahushua HaMashiach, who is the faithful witness
Uh-huh.
and the first begotten of the dead,
What is he?
and the first begotten of the dead,
The first begotten of the dead. The first fruits. The first of the first fruits. Right? The first begotten of the dead.
and the prince of the kings of the earth,
That's the truth. What did he do?
unto him that loved us and
And?
washed us from our sins in his own blood.
That's the truth. That's the truth. Let's go to Daniel 9 right quick. We're just going to find out when he died, because, and then when he rose. Prophecy about the Mashiach. Daniel 9, start at verse 25. We're at 24. Go ahead.
70 weeks are determined upon thy people and upon the holy city,
What you mean?
to finish the transgression and to make an end of sins, and to make reconciliation for iniquity, and to bring in everlasting righteousness,
Okay.
and to seal up the vision and prophecy,
What
and
else?
to anoint the most holy.
Okay.
Now, know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah, the Prince, shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. The streets shall be built again, and the wall even in troublous
So
times.
basically, long story short, they in captivity right here. Daniel is prophesying about the streets being rebuilt, the temple being rebuilt, the city being rebuilt, and the Messiah coming. And what he gonna do? Make an end of sin, and do all that other stuff that I was halfway paying attention to in verse 24, but you should have been reading it. But that's what he gonna do. Verse 26. Go ahead. This our meat. This our concentration. Go ahead.
And after 62 weeks shall Mashiach be cut off.
They gonna die. Cut off mean to die, right? Or be killed. You're gonna be crucified. After 62 weeks, what?
The Mashiach shall be cut off, but not for himself.
Good. Not for him, not for his own sin, but for yours. Come on.
And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be with a flood, and unto the end of the war desolations are determined. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week.
That's right. You're gonna confirm the covenant. Right? The covenant has already been made. You're gonna die and rise again, according to the scripture, 3 days and 3 nights. The covenant he made with Abraham, saying in your seed all the nations of the earth is gonna be blessed. So he gotta come and somebody gotta confirm it. Who is he talking about? He's talking about Mashiach. He the one coming to confirm the covenant. Right? He got a week. All right, go ahead.
And in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and oblations to cease. And for the overspreading of abominations
Now, how's he going to do that? Cause the sacrifice and oblation to cease. That means he going to die. Huh? He going to die. That's happening when, you say?
in the midst of the week.
What day is the midst of the week? Wednesday. That's the truth. All right, go ahead. So what would that make it? He is the what? Passover. All right? Midst of the week. Come on, finish this verse so we can skate.
And for the overspreading of abominations he shall make it desolate, even unto the
Consummation.
consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate.
Lot to deal with, little time. Y'all ain't got that kind of time today. But anyway, point being, Mashiach gonna die in the middle of the week, right? He gonna call the sacrifices and oblations to cease. Let's go to Matthew 27 right quick. So not only do we have to die, he have to be resurrected though, right? Matthew 27, we're just gonna pick up his death. It's the Passover. It's the day of the Passover. All right, if you go to the 26th chapter to tell you. It don't start a new idea in chapter 27, though. It's all telling us about the same day, same time. Somebody, security. I'm finna break this little group up. We finna say what I'm saying? Verse 20, verse 43. Go ahead.
He trusted in Elohim.
Mm-hmm.
Let him deliver him now, if he will have him, for he said, I am the son of Elohim.
That's what he said, yes.
The thieves also, which were crucified with him, cast the same in his teeth.
Everybody joke, everybody mocking. Everything funny, ain't it? Go ahead.
Now from the 6th hour there was darkness over all the land until the 9th hour.
Mm-hmm.
And about the 9th hour, Yahusha cried with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. That is to say, my Elohim, why hast thou forsaken me?
He know he wasn't forsaken, but he had to fulfill scripture. That even was written of him, right? Go ahead.
Some of them that stood there when they heard that said, this man calleth for Elias.
Mm-hmm.
And straightway one of them ran and took a sponge and filled it with vinegar and put it on a reed and gave him to drink. The rest said, let be. Let us see whether Elias will come to save him.
Mm-hmm.
Yahusha, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the ghost.
That means he died, right? He gave up the ghost. When did the scripture say he was going to do that?
In the midst of the week.
In the midst of the week. So 3 days and 3 nights later, he should rise. Right? Is that the truth? Let's go see if we can catch that. John. John chapter 19. We're going to pick it right back up. Verse 28. Go ahead.
After this, Yahusha, knowing that all things were now accomplished, that the scriptures might be fulfilled, saith, I thirst.
Mm-hmm. So what that mean? Go ahead.
Now there was a set vessel full of vinegar, and they filled a sponge with vinegar, and put it upon his hyssop,
Yes.
and put it to his mouth. Then Yahusha therefore had received the vinegar, he said, it is finished. And he bowed his head and gave up the ghost.
Right. Midst of the week, right? Wednesday. All right. What else happened?
The Jews therefore, because it was the preparation that the body should not remain upon the cross on the Sabbath day.
What do you mean preparation? It was the Passover, right? It was the Passover. And they getting prepared. If you back up to verse 14, the Bible saying it was the preparation of the Passover. So you ain't got to guess, it tell you what it is, right?
Right.
Verse 14 will tell you that in the same chapter. So it's the Passover, but which is the 14th day of the month, which is that very next day is the 15th, is the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which that is a high Sabbath day. So on the high Sabbath, you can't do no work. Remember what the law said? Have a holy convocation. So they can't let that body remain on the cross all night.
Right.
He died in the evening. 3 o'clock, he gave up the ghost. He's still hanging on the cross at this point. We down about almost 3 hours, maybe even 3 hours later, he's still up there. So now it's telling you it's the Jews' preparation that the body should not remain upon the cross all day. What happened?
For the Sabbath day was a high day. Besought Pilate that their legs might be broken and that they might be taken away. Then came
go ahead.
Then came the soldiers and brake the legs of the first and of the other which was crucified with him. But when they came to Yahusha and saw that he was dead already, they brake not his legs.
Verse 37. They couldn't. Why? They couldn't break his leg. They could have broke it, but they can't break it for what reason? Prophecy. The scriptures got to be fulfilled. Now, you think a Roman soldier care about some scriptures?
Right.
But when the Most High Yah is in control, he make people move how they want to fulfill the word. All right, that's how it is. Drop down to verse 37. Go ahead.
And again, another scripture said, they shall look upon him whom they pierced.
That's right. What else?
And after this, Joseph of Arimathea, being a disciple of Yahusha,
Right.
but secretly, for fear of the Jews, besought Pilate that he might take away the body of Yahusha. And Pilate gave him leave, and came therefore and took the body of Yahusha.
So Pilate gave him permission, and he came. So he still was hanging. He coming in to get him down, and they got to wrap him up and this and that before it get dark. Because once it get dark, it's a new day. Is that the truth? Because
Right.
when you're dealing with the Most High, the days start what? In the evening. The evening and the morning was the first day. The evening and the morning was the second day. Right? Go ahead.
And there came also Nicodemus, which at the first came to Yahusha by night, and brought a mixture of myrrh and aloes, about 100 pound weight. Then took they the body of Yahusha, and wound it up in linen cloths with the spices, as the manner of the Jews is to bury.
Okay.
Now in the place where he was crucified, there was a garden, and in the garden a new sepulchre.
So they remember they doing this in a haste, in a hurry. Right? Just like when they had to eat the Passover in a haste and in a hurry. Before the 15th day came in, it had to be gone. So they had to hurry up and do it. That's the same thing. This is just a real fulfillment of what we was reading about in Exodus 12, dealing with the Passover. Because they remember that the very next day is the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And if he remain up there on that day, the whole land is defiled. It's all over. Everything is over with. It don't make no difference. It's too late. You got them in the ground too late. It's over with. This is crucial. You got the Most High is so methodical and so precise. It got to happen. On time, God. Go ahead.
And in the garden a new sepulchre wherein was never man yet laid. There laid they Yahusha, therefore, because of the Jews' preparation day.
Because it was coming to an end. And the very next day is going to be the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Right? Which is going to be Thursday night. Wednesday night, but it's still Thursday in our time. I mean, you know what I'm saying. The day started in the evening. Right? So they killed him Wednesday during the day. He hung on the cross till Wednesday evening. And they put him in the ground. It's Wednesday night to us, but actually it's Thursday morning.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And it's 72 hours later should bring us to the evening of the Shabbat, which is once the Shabbat evening is over, it's going to be the first day of the week, even though it's actually what? Saturday, yes. Go ahead. But you see, from Wednesday, count the days, it's going to be 3. 3 days. Not only is it going to be 3 days, it's going to be 3 nights also. Right? Go ahead.
The sepulchre was nigh at hand.
That's why they put him in there. No man ever lay there. It was near. They hurry up before we transgress. Get him in there. You know, right. Hurry. You know how you, but that's how it was. Go ahead.
You want to go on to 20?
Go ahead.
The first day of the week cometh Mary Magdalene early, when it was yet dark.
Okay, now watch this. The first day of the week, that's what?
Sunday.
That's Sunday, right? Back up to Matthew. Hold that spot. Matthew 28:1. Matthew 28:1. The first day of the week, 3 days, 3 nights later, right? But just to prove out what we were saying, the first day of the week, look what the Bible called it here. Go ahead, verse 1.
In the end of the Sabbath.
You see that? The end of the Sabbath is first day of the week. Go ahead.
As it began to dawn toward the first day of the week, came Mary Magdalene and the other Mary to see the sepulchre.
That's right.
And behold, there was a great earthquake.
For
the angel of Yahuwah descended from heaven and came and rolled back the stone from the door and sat upon it.
Why would he do that?
His countenance was like lightning.
Yes.
And his raiment white as snow.
Oh, yeah.
And for fear of him, the keepers did shake and became as dead men.
What else happened?
And the angel answered and said unto the woman, Fear not ye, for I know that you seek Yahusha, which was crucified.
I know you looking for him.
He is
That's
not
the reason
here.
you came here, right? Go ahead.
He is not here.
What you mean? That's where they put him.
For he is risen. And he said, Come, see the place where Yahusha lay, and go quickly and tell his disciples that he is risen from the dead. And behold, he goeth before you into Galilee, and there you shall see him.
That's it. You see that? That's the victory. He got the victory over what?
Death.
And what's the proof? That he rose. Now that he got the victory, he still got to be accepted. Right? As the first fruit. Right? As the offering. The first of the first ripe fruit. He still got to be accepted. Go to the 20th chapter of John. Same account. Verse 1. Go ahead.
The first day of the week cometh Mary Magdalene early, when it was yet dark, unto the sepulchre, and seeth the stone taken away from the sepulchre.
So it's the same time, right? Or is that the truth?
Yeah.
That's the truth. Jump down to verse 9. Go ahead.
For as yet they knew not the scripture that he must rise again from the dead.
They really didn't believe
Right.
until they saw it. All right? That's why, you just watch how she react. Go ahead.
Then the disciples went away again unto their own home.
So why wouldn't she believe? Because nobody's ever done it. Nobody's ever done it. Even when he rose Lazarus, Lazarus died again.
Right.
Because if Lazarus would have kept living, ain't no way he could have said he the first fruits. So Lazarus died again. So they didn't believe because nobody ever did it, right? Ain't like they just didn't believe because they lacked faith. But out of all these hundreds and thousands, it's never been done before. So you can see this is a major victory. A major accomplishment. We getting a victory over that, right? Go ahead.
Mary stood without at the sepulchre weeping. And as she wept, she stooped down and looked into the sepulchre.
What are you crying for?
And seeth two angels in white sitting, the one at the head and the other at the feet, where the body of Yahushua had lain.
That's right.
And they say unto her,
What they
Woman,
say?
why weepest thou?
What are you crying for? Go ahead and read.
She said unto them, Because they have taken away my Adonai,
Yes.
and I know not where they have laid him.
Look at that. Did she believe? No, she talking about they done took him away.
Right.
She thinks somebody stole him. Right? She thinks somebody snatched him up and put him or placed him somewhere else. But you finna see how it's gonna go down. As soon as he changed out these what verse you leave off 13?
Yes.
Go ahead.
And when she had thus said, she turned herself back and saw Yahushua standing, and knew not that it was Yahushua.
Okay.
Yahushua said unto her,
What?
Woman, why weepest thou?
What are you crying for? Go ahead.
Whom seekest thou?
Who you looking for?
She, supposing him to be a gardener, said unto him, Sir, if thou have borne him hence, tell me where thou hast laid him, and I will take him away.
Right. If you've carried him away from here, tell me where you took him to. See, this is what he mean when he said the portion or the inheritance of Jacob is not like the gods of the nation. Because he said, one cut a tree out of the forest and bring it in. I mean, you got to bear him or carry him. The same word he used here. You got to carry him. Wherever you want your little God to go, you got to take him with you. You understand that? Well, he's saying he ain't like that. The portion of Jacob ain't like that. So she like,
That's cold.
tell me where you done carried him to. Man, I'm something else. I'm a God. Ain't nobody finna carry me.
Right.
I get up and walk. I resurrect. My hand ain't short. Huh? That's what he telling us. Little stuff go a long way, don't it? Go ahead.
16. Yahushua said unto her, Mary. She turned herself and said unto him,
Yes.
Rabboni,
which
is to say, Master.
What that mean? Master, yes, go ahead.
Yahushua say unto her, Touch me not,
Back up.
for I am not yet ascended to my Father.
Right, ascended, get it? Be lifted up, the first fruit.
Yes, sir.
Be accepted, to be waived, to be accepted on your behalf. He said, I have not yet ascended. I have not yet been accepted. This is the first day of the week. Right? Tomorrow after the Sabbath. After the Feast of Unleavened Bread. So he rose, but the thing about it, he still got to be accepted.
Right.
So he said, don't touch me. So I have not yet been accepted. Go ahead. I have not yet ascended to my Father. Yes.
But go to my brethren and say unto them, I ascend unto my Father and your Father, and to my Elohim and your Elohim.
Verse 19.
Then the same day at evening,
The same day.
being the first day of the week,
What happened?
when the doors were shut, where the disciples were assembled for the fear of the Jews, came Yahushua and stood in the midst, and said unto them,
What?
Peace be unto you.
I done made peace now. Go ahead.
And when he had so said, he showed unto them his hands.
So in between that time where he told her, don't touch me, in the evening of that first day of the week, he came back. He been accepted by them. So watch what he going to say. Because remember he said, don't touch me because I haven't been accepted. Now watch what he going to say. Go ahead.
And he showed unto them his hands and his side. Then were the disciples glad when they saw Yahusha.
Mm-hmm.
Then say Yahusha to them again, peace be unto you.
What?
As my Father hath sent me, even so send I you.
Verse 24. Go ahead.
But Thomas, one of the 12, called Didymus, was not with them when Yahusha came. The other disciples were therefore said unto him, we have seen Adonai. But he said unto them, except I shall see his hands, the print of the nails, and put my finger into the print of the nails, and thrust my hand into his side, I will not believe. And after 8 days again, his disciples were within, and Thomas with them. Then came Yahusha, the doors being shut, and stood in the midst, and said, peace be unto you.
Mm-hmm.
Then saith Thomas, reach hither thy finger, and behold my hand, and reach hither thy hand, and thrust it into my side, and be not faithless, but believing.
So what did he say? Even though it was 8 days later, he said, you can touch me now. Because why could he touch me now? Because he had already been accepted. Right? What else? What verse?
28.
Okay.
And Thomas answered and said unto him, my Adonai and my Elohim.
You heard that? What?
Yahusha said unto him, Thomas, because thou hast seen me, thou hast believed. Blessed are they that have not seen and yet have believed.
That's amen. That's amen. Romans 12. So we have to be accepted. So now we got hope. Now that we got our first fruit, now we can start out. We have a starting point where we can start counting the weeks to make it to the next Feast of First Fruits, or the Pentecost, or the Feast of Weeks. But you had to have a starting point. And it's always tomorrow after the Sabbath during the Feast of Unleavened Bread. That's it.
Cool.
Acceptable time. Verse 1 and 2. Go ahead.
I beseech you, therefore, brethren,
Look, I'm begging you. Go ahead.
by the mercies of Elohim, that you present your bodies as a living sacrifice,
What kind?
holy,
Huh?
acceptable unto Elohim,
What kind?
which is acceptable, holy.
That's what we got to be accepted too. You need to present yourself. That's what the priest did, presented the offering up to the Yah to be accepted. So listen what he's telling you. Present your body as a what? Living sacrifice. There's some stuff you got to give up.
Right.
Some stuff you got to cut off. As a living sacrifice, he said holy, that's the 10th. That's the first, that's the best of holy and acceptable.
Unto Yah,
What is that?
which is your reasonable service.
That's reasonable. That's the least we could do.
Better say that.
All right? That's the least we could do. Hope we got some understanding on something out of this on the Feast of the First Fruits. In Yeshua's name, I thank you for your time. Amen. Hallelujah. We'll do a quick prayer, then we'll close out, and then we'll get some service. And then we'll bring the women and children, the kids and children, and the kids and women and children. Yeah, there. Somebody hit that stop button. So I can clown.